You're listening to Fishing the DMV with your host, Thomas Ahrens. Fishing the DMV is brought to you by Jake's Bait and Tackle, located in Winchester, Virginia.
If that doesn't get you jacked up, I don't know what will.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Fishing the DMV. I'm your host, Thomas Ahrens. And today, guys, I'm just first and happy 4th of July, since that's probably has passed by the time this one gets out there. I hope everyone was safe and had a wonderful time on the water. It's vacation season, and I like to try to do these regional specials more and more. I enjoy them. And I've done Fredericksburg, Virginia a bunch, and I have on Brian Boog, who's going to talk about Williamsburg, Virginia. It's a really cool place with a ton of cool little fisheries. And I just want to say this about Virginia. Like Brian and I were talking about beforehand. Virginia is so neat because there's so many sneaky little places you can go. There are states with bigger fisheries and a lot of them like that, but we have so many electric motor only lakes and places like that. So Brian, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
You got it, Thomas. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
So what's your story? How did you get involved in this crazy sport?
Oh boy. Probably the early 90s. Growing up camping and all that stuff, we fished up in New Hampshire. I'm from Rhode Island and Massachusetts. But in the 90s, we were punk rock kids. And one night, one of us decided, hey, man, we all used to fish. Why don't we start fishing? And we went one night, and I grabbed my dad's tackle box, which had like a hula popper with the rubber completely melted. And we just started fishing every night. And then, of course, some of us who got the addiction bad continued and spent all our money on tackle and stuff, and the others fell off. But then someone found a boat, and and it just gradually morphed into a full-fledged addiction. And now here we are. You graduated from the 10-foot boat up the bigger boat, and then tournaments, and then all that stuff. And it's never gone away.
What is bass fishing or the fishing that you did back home?
We have tiny little ponds on Cape Cod's got cranberry bogs where you can, rumor gets out like
the
cranberry
fruit. Yeah, really?
The cranberry bogs where quick story, true story. A friend of mine in the 90s decided he heard about this cranberry bog that had 9-pound bass in it. So in the middle of the night, the same boat I have now, the crawdad, we dragged the crawdad probably a half a mile to go into this cranberry bog. We got in there, we started fishing. Before we even made a cast, we heard and the guy turned a flashlight on us, and it was the cranberry bog owner, old guy. He had overalls on. I'll never forget it. And he said, "You boys, you got about 5 minutes to get your asses out of here." God. So there's a lot of sneaking into small little swill holes. Basically, you're dragging your boat. Because in Rhode Island, there's maybe 2 lakes that have boat ramps that you can actually use an outboard. There might be 2 or 3, but not many. In Massachusetts, there's a few. Everybody goes up to Lake Winnipesaukee in New Hampshire for smallmouth, but that's really what it is. Small sand bowls, 3-5 feet deep, and that's it. And there's some. I mean, there's some real good fish up there. It's just you've got to figure it out.
So from there is that lightning rod for cultivation of your fishing addiction. How did you go from Rhode Island and in that area down south to Virginia?
The parents-in-law live in Williamsburg, and we moved down here. My father-in-law was sick, so we moved down to take care of him. And then he passed away almost 2 years ago. So I got a job at Busch Gardens, and then we just decided to stay.
How long ago was that now?
2 years. Just
2 years
September will be 2 years.
2 years, okay.
So
do you still work at Busch Gardens?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Cool. What do you do there?
I am a carpenter at the Busch Gardens. Shout out carpentry. Yeah. So I was a carpenter. That's all I've ever done up north was trade work. So I was a carpenter up in Massachusetts. So I just applied for a job here and got it before I even moved down.
That is so cool. I did not know that they needed a car. That's cool. All right.
Oh yeah, we still do. Anybody in the trades, we're desperate for people. So
Sadly,
it's
that
a
is
wonderful,
true.
wonderful place to work, and it's a private bass lake.
Really?
Yeah, everybody here knows that. Come on, they dug it out when they built the park for runoff for every part of the park. When they wash it down every morning, all the water goes into the lake. So it's about a 27 foot at certain points deep lake. So you're skipping a jig under a bush looking at Apollo's Chariot or a Loch Ness monster. So it's pretty amazing. You can only fish there if you work there.
Okay, you got a fishing story from there?
Yeah, that back in the day, Terry Rydell, I think he caught a 12. Bob Everhart has a mount on his wall. I think it was, correct me if I'm wrong, 11 change. There's
That's
story.
Cool, dude.
There's stories of many teams out of there. I fished it in the last 2 years. I've put my time in there, and there's maybe a couple over 3. I mean, I've caught hundreds, and you can go out there every other cast, and catch a 2.5 pounder on anything you want to throw. So it's just, I think the quality, it hasn't been managed in years, is what I've been told. In that the bluegill, people say there's state record bluegill in there, but the bass are either died off or there's too many. They need to cull.
Yeah, you wonder with that with some of these like lakes and ponds about how important it is to actually do the culling process, because we are so big on conservation in 2025, but there are some instances where that is kind of, you got to do that.
I think that and they put carp in it too, and the carp are just enormous. Bluegill, carp, and largemouth. That's all that's in there. But you can go there 365 days a year, skip a jig under a bush, and catch 2.5 pounders.
That's wild. That's really cool that you get to actually fish. It's like a perk that they don't even offer for employees that you got to take full advantage of.
Yeah, there's only a couple of us that actually they have 2 boats. You can't bring your boat. You have to use their boats. But they're like 12-foot John boats.
That's awesome. So
oh yeah.
I mean, this is such a neat little area, because when you think about Newport News, Williamsburg area, you got the James River, you got the York River, really sandwiching this peninsula. But what is the fishing like in this area? I know that's a very big, broad ballpark question, but I wanted to tee us off somewhere.
You know what's funny so the Omnia Fishing, the guy, I think they're Minneapolis company. One of the founders of Omnia Fishing went to William and Mary here in Williamsburg, and I heard a quote from him, and he said that Williamsburg is the last. His quote is the last like untapped area in the country with the greatest fishing, and I agree with him. It's phenomenal here. If you want to, I would say you say within 45 minutes, an hour, you can go to Little Creek and have crystal clear water, 50 feet deep, or you can go to Newport News Reservoir, Lee Hall, and it's the one part's 2 feet deep and filled with hydrilla. And you can pick whatever style you want to fish that day. There's a place within 45 minutes that you can do what you want. It's amazing.
Well, let's talk about that first place. You said Little Creek Reservoir. I guess that's right off of, guys, you know what? This will do. I'll pull up a map just for everyone here, because I know there's a lot of people listening.
Yeah, it's right around the corner from ProTech.
Boom. All right. So here we go.
There it is,
Little
right there.
Creek Reservoir.
Yep.
Good Lord, this thing's got a bunch of creeks on it. Wow.
It's $3 a day. You put it in the box. They just reopened. They were closed for 8 months, 9 months, 10 months for the boat ramp repair. It's crystal clear. I mean, I've seen SB out there. It's phenomenal. Little Creek is amazing. You can go, and there's so many points. There's so many things to do there. Swim baits, big swim baits, shaky heads on point. Whatever you want to do, you can catch fish.
Is this does this water go up and down a lot? It looks like it's shallow right now.
I've seen it pretty low. I've seen it real low. But the last time I was there, well, the last column I did for Woods and Waters was Little Creek. So I fished there all last month.
And this is trolling motor only, correct?
And it's electric only.
Okay.
Granted, I've seen 25-foot center consoles out there with trolling motors, but
that's crazy, dude. That's a big fishery. I mean, that's the thing too, guys. Like, not all fisheries are created equal. A 200-acre reservoir that's just a fishbowl will not have the same fishing potential as something that's as I don't know, spidery, fingery. I don't know if there's a better word to use, because there's just so much surface area here of shoreline to be able to fish.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
It's and there's stripers in there as well.
Really?
I've never caught a striper, but yeah, there's stripers in there. And then you go right around the corner. Diascund is right, because Protec is right around the corner. And shout out Lynn. And the Diascund is phenomenal. Spotted bass, largemouth. That place is for Diascund is fun. That's a really.
I heard the rumor. Maybe I don't know if it was you or somebody else. That like there are like quality spotted bass in this place.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's phenomenal. There's certain days that that's all you'll catch, and then some days you don't catch any. But it's maybe this the area you're going in, because it's basically three separate. There's two bridges, so your boat ramps on the far right side, and then you go under the bridge, and then there's a third or second bridge that you can go out to the last section.
Okay, so 1, 2. Okay, I see. Oh, and there's 3. Oh, okay.
So the boat ramp is right there. Here? Yeah.
Oh wow. And is this place as clear as Little Creek?
I don't think so. No, and the water fluctuates pretty severely there too. In my experience, sometimes in the winter drawdown. But what I've learned is they're all connected to the Newport News. They're all owned by Newport News Waterway or Waterworks, and they're all kind of connected somehow.
It's just, that's wild. I mean, just having two fisheries like this alone in an area would be great. But I mean, then you also have
Chick Lake, and yeah. I mean, I'm not talking about the river. Everybody talks about the river.
Yeah.
So I'm strictly talking about the non-river stuff. And then you get Chick Lake, which is phenomenal.
This place, there are so many legends and rumors about Chick Lake with like, oh yeah, there's a 20-pound largemouth in there. And there's been many 8+ pounders caught. It's really cool. Cypress trees, grass. Yeah. It's a wild place.
The only thing about Chick Lake is in the summer, it's got that black muck. So you can't, there's certain techniques you can't really do unless you can figure a way to keep that black muck off. But yeah, then in Williamsburg proper, we have Waller Mills.
Ooh, okay. I want to find this place.
Yeah, I mean, Waller Mills is that's my after work spot.
That's Pond. Okay. Where is Waller Mills?
It's right by
Williamsburg.
Yeah, is that it right there?
Williamsburg here, and then you said
go straight north. Go north, right there. What's that?
Waller's Mill. Oh, Waller's Mill. There it is. Oh, that's a cute little place. I like that. Oh, wow.
Yeah, Waller Mill is cool. There's stripers. They say there's stripers in that too.
And there's a bridge coming across. Oh, wow.
Yeah, you can go under the bridge to the other section.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. That water looks clean too.
It is pretty clean. There's some giant carp you can snag in there by accident. They take you for a ride. But that's the park is amazing. Boat ramp's great. So just for this area, then that's just Williamsburg. Then when you start going to Newport News, then that just opens up a ton more different lakes. I mean, I wrote that. I mean, Harwood Mills and Newport News Reservoir, you buy one pass and it allows you to fish both for the year.
Howard Mills, Newport. Let's see. Oh wow, okay. Hardwoods Mill. Wow.
Yeah,
dude, this is amazing. This is so cool. Wow.
That's where I was at 1 a.m. this morning.
How'd you do?
You know what, man? I was 0 for 4.
Oh,
0 for 4. I had I caught it was a pretty good fish, but it broke my hook on the vixen. Just absolutely broke the hook right off.
I mean, that's a state record then, clearly. If you never saw it, we got to exaggerate it.
Oh, I saw it. I mean, it was probably 4 or 5 pounds. The thing about Harwood Mills is the quality in there. You might not catch quantity, but it seems every fish you catch is well over 4.
Oh, and there's a lot of grass in this place too, isn't there?
Newport News is loaded with grass.
Mm.
And that's another one where it's electric only, you got a small boat, you can go underneath the bridge to the whole other section.
Oh, wow.
Which most people, what I've seen is most people go to the other side. I like the boat ramp side better because, I mean, they've got these weird pipelines down if you keep going down, they've got these weird pipelines down there somewhere. And, no. Is this Newport News Lee Hall Reservoir?
This is Hardwoods Mill.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's still Harwood Mills. Harwood Mills, I mean, it's got a little channel in the middle. It's like 13 feet. But you go with a big wake bait, and hold on.
I think it's so cool. And the baseball field's right there. Dude, that is neat. And then I guess this is up here is the one you're talking about. This is Newport News paved trail.
Yeah, it's right around the corner from that. And then that's that weird pipeline that goes across the whole lake.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
That thing. But the craziest part about this is they've got this giant old-fashioned steamboat that I nicknamed Mad Max because it's like a weed eater. So it just goes up and it's like with no regard if someone's fishing. The dude will just come right at you on this giant steamboat, just chewing weeds, and then he brings them to the shore and dumps them on the shore.
Wild.
But I've had 5'8", 6 pounds, 6'8". Like the Newport News, people sleep on it, I think.
Yeah, and you just wonder like how much it is that these two places down in the Newport area, it's because of the SAV, like having grass like that has helped breed some bigger fish.
It is, man. The big blade chatterbait, that big blade, man, that was my key last year when I was writing my article on it. And that was my key. Keep it right over that grass. Woo.
And I asked Shane Flint up in the Fredericksburg area because they have Mooney, Nye, Hunting Run, a bunch of reservoirs in a small area. And I've always had this hypothesis that if you could play Sims for a day, it's better to have multiple lakes in an area versus one big one, just because there's this distributing force that not every lake can equally get hit with fishing pressure. And I just want to ask you the same question. Like, do you feel like with all these lakes, do they all get equally pressured?
I don't fish Saturday and Sunday. I work Saturday and Sunday. So I purposely have Tuesday, Wednesday off. So I can go fish during the week. I think I've seen a lot of people fishing, but it is what's considered pressure, like us going out there and group of guys beating the bank, pounding it with a chatterbait or topwater, or guys fishing a bobber and a worm. I don't see it here. I really don't. I don't see like up north on a Saturday you would go and there would be 35 boats on a 70-acre lake. No kidding. Like,
wow.
with water skiers, the rowing team from the call, it's chaos. Here, if there's 5 boats, that's a busy day. I'm sure excluding the river here. And Chick Lakes, I know Gavin has told me they've had to park in, the trailers in the other parking lot on the weekends because it's so crowded. But these little ponds, there might be 2, 3, 4, 5 boats out there at any given time. But most times I go out on a Tuesday and Wednesday, I'm the only guy out there.
Do you have a favorite reservoir during different seasons?
Well, doing this column for Woods and Waters, like I went, my logic, right or wrong, I don't know. I went to Virginia Beach during January, February, hoping it was warmer, and maybe the water would be just a little bit warmer than Williamsburg, but it wasn't. So I caught fish. I think here, unlike up north, the water gets cold here, but I think one day I went to Harwood Mills and it was iced over, just a real thin. But you can catch fish. So to answer your question, no. I like to fish, and whatever I'm in the mood to try to do that day, there's a place in Williamsburg area that will let me do that.
Which place have you spent the most time on, and which place have you spent the least amount of time on?
I would say Little Creek. I've spent Chick Lake though, man. Something about Chick Lake. I just love that place. And Little Creek and Chick Lake, and then, there was a couple places I was going to do a column on. Harrison Lake, was it Chester? An airfield pond. I went once, and there didn't seem to be a fish in the place. Harrison is like a fish hatchery. But
there's Big Bethel too.
Big Bethel,
God, that's a lot of water.
The Big Bethel, they have some quality fish in there. I did a column on that. It's small though. So this whole right side is you're not allowed to fish it. So you're only allowed to fish from the bridge left.
Okay, hold on. So if I'm going towards the pavilion here, I can't go underneath this bridge?
Nope. It's got a whole contraption in front of it. It's not accessible at all.
Huh.
So of course everybody says all the big fish are on the right side, and I fish it at night. You know what? The same story, but the left side, it's so two-thirds of it is like a foot deep, and you can kind of tell where it starts. Yeah. But there was some quality fish in there. I had a couple good days, and then there's Beaver Dam. Beaver Dam is epic. That's in Gloucester.
It's up here. Hold on.
Yeah, Beaver Dam is Beaver Dam. That place is, talk about trolling motor killer.
Beaver? No, that's Kent Lake. Where is Beaver Dam?
That's out in the Gloucester.
Oh, okay. So let's pretend I have no idea where the heck Gloucester is. Is that towards Richmond or
no? It's towards the big. Oh God, is it right? Yeah, it's right up here. Keep going north with your and it's up there somewhere.
Oh, okay, okay, right here. Is this it? Yeah, that's Haynes Pond. Guys, you are so just spoiled with how much water you guys have to fish. This is insane. Let's see. We got Berrywood, Weaver Pond.
Oh, there's a lot.
Leah Pond. My God. Oh, there it is. Hold on. There it is.
Yeah. Oh man, that's loaded with just trees. Their facilities there are like sick. It's beautiful facilities. There's some monster fish in there.
Mm.
Yeah.
Is this newish? The facilities?
They look it. I don't know exactly when they went in, but it does look. The parking lot is pretty nice, and they have a building there. You can get some drinks, but they have two boat ramps. One's down this.
Yeah, right here.
That's one, and then they have one at the other end, which is kind of cool. If you have a small boat, you don't have to use the big ramp. Down that creek arm right there. That's the second boat ramp. But it's a grassy. They got a million trees, just everywhere, everywhere.
If you had to spitball, like, what do you think? Like 100 acres, 200, 1,000, 50?
Oh, Beaver Dam. See, I did all this in the column. I can't remember what Beaver Dam is. But they're man. But well, with my boat and an electric motor, you can easily do the whole lake in a day. Like easily go from one end to the other in a day.
This is something where I will always make the claim that Virginia is one of the premier places, because you have to factor in all the electric motor only lakes, because you have the Fredericksburg area, your area, and then Norfolk. Like, the amount of water between those three cities or those counties is just, it's wild. You could spend your whole life checking out all those places and probably not hit all of it.
It's incredible. And that's just the ones that are on the DWR website.
Mm.
So there's probably hundreds of neighborhood lakes where people have made boat ramps. You just showed me 3 of them that I've never heard of. Just going to Beaver Dam. I mean, and then you've got you got the Lone Star Lakes, which is it's not in Williamsburg. It's on the other side. Then you go to Portsmouth, other side of the river. And there's a million I haven't even began to explore over there. Lake Mead, Lake Cahoon, which are in the same parking lot. Like, Whitehurst. I did a column on Whitehurst, and I honestly can't remember Lake Whitehurst. I couldn't tell you a thing about it.
And I apologize. We should have introduced this earlier, but how did you get with Woods and Water?
Oh, I saw Chris, or I ordered a t-shirt. I might have ordered a t-shirt, and he called me, and I said, hey, what do you think about a column from a guy from Massachusetts comes down to Virginia and tries to figure out all the small lakes? And he said, yeah, let's do it. We had a guy doing it, and he doesn't do it anymore. So I just started doing it.
How many years now?
I think I've done it 1.5 years.
Oh, wow, dude. 2-year anniversary coming up. That's awesome.
Yeah. And it's forcing me to not, like we were talking about earlier, it's forcing me to not fish Chick Lake and Little Creek every day. So every month I have to find a new lake to fish, learn, and write about, regardless of the time of year, which I'm trying to remember which one it was. One in Virginia Beach last year. It was the guides were frozen. The Ned rig couldn't get small enough. I just couldn't even cast. It was just frozen. So I still caught a couple fish that day. Not that many, but yeah, so it's great that you just find these little lakes, and or someone recommends. I fished this lake 35 years ago. I don't know if it had fish then. And you're like, oh, all right. I guess I'll go check it out. That's what Big Bethel was. I didn't even know it was there. And someone at work said, man, you got to go to Hampton. So I did, which is cool because every place it's something new experience. You see some weird thing in the woods or whatever. And you get to learn the area, which is really cool.
What lessons have you learned from fishing so many different bodies of water?
That my boat's not big enough for all the crap I want to bring. You can't bring 55 rods on a 10-foot boat.
True.
It's just not enough room. Oh, lessons that that you go there not knowing where it even is, how deep it is. So you try to, I don't even know what you call it, like a starter pack, like your 5 confidence baits, regardless if the water's 1 foot or 50, and then go from there. So the first day is always a crapshoot because you have no idea, because DWR doesn't tell you any information, and a couple of them have had contour maps online and they were completely wrong. So you bring a jig, chatterbait, a jackhammer, a jig, a wake bait, you just kind of a Senko to start off with.
when you've fished, again, you've had a blessed experience here where you get to fish so many unique bodies of water. Do the fish have any similarities like that you've picked up on, like patterns that like, okay, no matter what lake I go to or pond, this is kind of the same thing that I'm seeing throughout?
No,
Wow.
there's it's there's like Little Creek, there's very little cover. And then you go to somewhere like Beaver Dam, which is 100% cover. There's just nothing but. So it's just navigating completely different bodies of water. Some are like Newport News is 2 feet deep for the most part. There's deeper parts, but most of what you're doing is a 2 foot flat filled with hydrilla. Again, Little Creek is just 40 feet deep with nothing, not a stick of nothing. So you're kind of basically you're trying to write a column. You're trying to make you have to make it work. So you just figure it out, or at least try to figure it out. And each place teaches you something too, which is really cool.
Like what?
So say a day where you bring a Ned rig. Like I don't fish a Ned rig all the time, but when it's cold out, you're like, maybe it's smaller. I'll bring a Ned rig and see what happens with it. And so that you're kind of forced, because you're 45 minutes an hour away from home, you're forced to fish with what you have and try. Then so say you bring a jig and they're not hitting a jig in the trees, but yet one swims out and whacks it on the retrieve back. And you're like, all right. And then you learn, you try to learn something new every day. Last night I learned, don't be a dummy and be out there 1 a.m. in the dark. Is
there a story to that?
No, it was just because it's been so
statute
hot.
Of limitations.
No, it was just so hot. And I was like, man, I don't want to be out there in 90s again. And so I was like, whoa, go night fishing. All right, that's a smart move. No, it was dumb. It was like the dumbest thing. I'm out there like a dummy. 1 o'clock in the morning going, now what? You can't see the shore. You can't see anything. What are you casting at? You're just making bad casts all night, waiting for the sun to come up. The dummy.
I think it's what's so crazy is like when you get to fish so many places, you get to learn new lessons about a stumpy lake, a weedy lake, a deep clear lake. And that they're all differently unique. And it seems like they all fish not only differently, but they have different times of year or different times when they're gonna be on fire for some reason, which to me has always been fascinating, that this stupid green fish that we like to track and catch, you can have 4 lakes next to your house and they're all unique. They're all different. It's crazy.
Yeah. Why you go to Waller Mill and you're fishing a crankbait and they're on the drop of the vertical bluff. But then you go something like you just said, 5 minutes down the road and they're not. And you go, what now they're on points. It's just, you're right. That's why you keep coming back, or at least that's why I keep coming back, because they're just dumb fish and you spend all your money on them and you just got a basement full of crap that most you don't use because you end up throwing a jackhammer 98% of the time. Yeah, those giant swim baits were a great investment because now my shoulder doesn't work. Yeah, great. Yeah, $170 for depths $250. Yeah, great investment.
It is crazy because like you go to the tackle warehouse, most bought items, and it's always like, well, you have all the people complaining about forward facing sonar, like, well, everyone's just using a damn jigging minnow. But I think that's on a macro view. But when you get into a micro view and you actually get granular, you realize like, places of the country like where you're at or me, the jackhammer probably still outsells everything. The stupid muck frog still outsells everything. And I'm glad you really touched upon that because that's something I'm seeing more and more. Now, I guess I'm finally observing it more now that I'm trying to look for it, is the fact that maybe nationally there's some trends, but if you pull down and you look regionally or locally, it's not the same as what the national sales are saying, in my opinion.
No. Let me tell you, I worked for MLF BPT for 3 years. every one of those guys fishes a jackhammer and a Senko. Regardless of sponsor, every one of them has a jackhammer, at least one jackhammer and a Senko. That jackhammer and a Senko, that is what most people end up using. You might start the day with higher hopes. And I met a guy at Wallermill the other day who was like, I don't throw a thing but swim bait, big swim baits. Said, that's awesome, but I did that for a long time. And I like catching fish. So I'd rather just throw a jackhammer, a jig. You can't go wrong with the jig.
You
But
can't.
But you're right. I mean, in the end, when you actually fish often enough, where you're out there, you end up throwing. Like this year, I've been throwing a DT10 constantly because it's just an easy 10-foot consistent crankbait. It's not the flashiest thing. It's not the coolest thing, but it certainly does the job.
It's just interesting because like there'll be people guys, if you don't know, kind of lead me onto this as an individual is writing an article about the effects of forward facing sonar on bait sales, and they called up a local tackle shop near me that's on the Shenandoah River, smallmouth place, and the owner was like, well, yeah, we don't sell minnows here because we're smallmouth fishery. It's topwater, it's hellgrammite, things like that. It really got me thinking about like there's got to be other places like that, and not just here, the Susquehanna, your area, and that's what kind of went me down that rabbit hole. But to context switch a little bit, how did you get hooked up with MLF?
Oh, I had a heart attack in January of 21, and my doctor said, go do something fun. And my aunt lives on Lake Murray, and there was a MLF event there. And I just went on the website and it said, become a marshal. And I was like, yeah, all right, that sounds cool. Free lessons, which it was. And then I did one, and then I got an email, of course, 1 year in the system. They just, do you want to do the next one? And it just went on and on and on. So yeah, it was just great to sit.
What's it like to marshal?
It's insanely boring. It's truly on a bad day, like when they're not catching fish, it's painful because you feel so bad, and you know things that they don't because you did it for 5 days in a row with 5 different dudes, and 4 out of the 5 fish this exact same spot that this dude's going to lock up on for 8 hours. And you obviously can't say anything. But I learned more from that. It's your free lessons. I mean, it truly was watching a different dude each day do something a little bit different. And, and someone the other day on your podcast, someone made a Takahiro comment. And it was probably this week, something about hiding a bait.
Oh yeah, like when they're on screen, they'll hide it, or how they'll unhook it, and then yeah. So
this is a crazy. We were at Kissimmee, and I was with Takahiro, and we had 10 dudes within 20 yards all day. Just one guy would catch fish, no one else would, and then it would just go down the line. It was amazing to watch. But he caught a 9/8. And he got it to the boat. You got it. I weighed it. And he said, like, you're in the middle of nowhere. And he's like, I got to put this rod away. And I was like, oh, okay. What's up? And he's like, no, they're going to be here. So he put the rod away and pulled out. I think he was fishing a chatter, but he always fishes a chatter or jackhammer. But he pulled out a white grub. And sure enough, the drone came right over, and he was just casting the white grub. And I was like, holy crap, how'd you know that? And he's like, I've been doing this a long time. He just didn't want anyone to know what he was fishing. But that's the beauty of it. It's just so much weird little things that if you sit and watch these guys, It's pretty cool.
How am I going to say this? How much of it, when you get to watch and sit there for 5 days, 8 hours, and you see people rotate spots, what is the secret sauce then from your perspective? Because let's say everyone's throwing a lot of the same stuff, what is the difference maker? Is it luck?
Area. That day, that particular fish I was talking about, he set up on that spot, and there were dudes, I think Alton Jones, John Hunter, there were a bunch of dudes right with your conversation distance, and he just said, I know they're coming out, because he thought they were done spawning, and he just said, I know they're coming out. I know they're going to make their way, because he was off the bank, and he just said, I know. He said, I know if I stay here long enough, they're going to come out. And he caught a 9.8. I mean, it was remarkable, but it was confidence. It was like he knew if he spent enough time on that spot, and if he gave up that spot, someone else would move in and possibly get a fish. But he just like decision making and confidence is what I found. These dudes there were some dudes that were like happy to be there and just like, yeah, I'll go throw, Senko at a dock. But there were dudes that were like laser focused, like I'm going to, I've got 6 minutes at this spot, and then I'm leaving and going an hour to the other end of the lake to hit a spot and then come back. So every dude had a different style, definitely. I mean, like Cody Meyer, the nicest dude on planet Earth. Cody Meyer,
really?
Man, he is, what a dude he was. And Matt Lee, Matt Lee's not on the tour anymore, but Matt and Jordan together, they should have a comedy show. It was unbelievable to watch the two of them just insult each other.
I've always wanted this from the cameraman perspective, but as a marshal or a judge, what was your official title?
I think it was a marshal. That's what they call it, marshal.
How do they treat you guys? Because I guess it's, in one sense, they're not competing with you. You're technically can DQ them if you want to, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I would say 9 out of 10 were cool, but there was just it was a couple that were really upset that you were in their space. Which, I mean, you kind of understand it, I guess, but rules are the rules. But most dudes were perfectly happy, offer you water, whatever. Just if you have anything you want to put in my cooler, put it, totally cool. There was a couple that were bordering on, not so nice.
You wonder if that's just because
but
they
that's
just
life.
don't know. Yeah, that's life. But in an industry where you have to sell yourself, that is interesting. It seems like the difference maker are the people that are good at communicating.
Yep. And Cody Meyer, man, he joked all day. He was so just you can tell that's just his personality.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Takahiro talked about endurance racing all day.
Really?
And wanted to, told me first thing I got in the boat, he only put X amount of gas in his tank because he can go 3 miles an hour faster than everybody else in his bass cat. And, these dudes are
dialed.
But they all have other jobs, getting to know the dudes, they've all got another hustle going on.
Really?
Yeah, they not like shoe salesmen or vacuum salesmen. Like Britt Myers has a truck, what you call it, customization shop. Jeff Sprague's got a trucking company. So they all kind of, or a lot of them, not all of them, a lot of them have other forms of income coming in.
Yeah, I mean that's another sad thing about the industry right now is it's basically becoming the sport for just millionaires and billionaires to play with each other, so to speak. I don't feel like you're losing slowly the true angler that makes his living just doing this. Not like, I own 6 vineyards and a golf course, so I just do this for fun. I guess
that Denny Brower thing that was on the other night, the cast on YouTube. That's crazy.
Yeah.
How he came up, just fishing like everybody else does. You start small, but it's it wasn't pretty.
Mm-mm. No, it's not. And is that being lost right now in 2025?
I think it is. I mean, have you shot for boats lately? Holy mackerel. God.
It's got to break, right? Like, I'm not trying to be gloom and doom, but at some point you just look in awe of like, it's going to cost $200,000 before I die. A brand new boat's going to cost what houses used to cost. Like, that's just, wow.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. And that's why now everyone's going to aluminums because they're more reasonable. But nothing's cheap, but it's still pricey.
It is. And then the truck to pull them is even worse. No one talks about that, sadly. That's disgusting. It's so disgusting. I know a lot of blue collar people that, landscaping, construction, things like that. And what happened to that price truck? The one that we could afford. It's just gone.
I mean,
goodbye.
What's an F-150 these days? 80, 90?
Oh Lord. Yeah, easily. And
so, but yeah, the MLF was a lot of fun. And then they dropped it down from what was it, 80 to 65, and then they're going to 50. I just said, these are cool little vacations, but because it just guys would. It was a luck of the draw in the morning. I got stuck with Keith Poche like 3 days in a row because he was riding the 17-foot a couple of years ago.
What's that like?
Oh, he's on to something with that boat. Let me tell you something. It might not go fast, but he when he gets into these areas, he really gets into these areas. He is not afraid. He was a cool dude too. He was pack a Red Man in his pocket. Towel. He's the real deal, man. And that little boat, he's got it as tricked out as humanly possible.
Is that nerve-wracking for you? Like, it's one thing to be in a bass cat or whatever, but when you're like, we're going to jump this Beaver Dam, and you're like, but I'm here. It's like...
And it didn't even have a seat. I was just sitting on the deck. He has the first gator tracks he had a little seat for him that wasn't really a seat. It was just on the deck. And he I think what do you have, a 150 on it or so? I mean, it wasn't like a 250, but he goes wherever he wants to go with it, man. There's no doubt about that.
I think it's neat. I really do. And I think we're getting, this is Tommy's hot take. He's like, are we getting to the end of the fiberglass market and people are going to start pivoting? I think so. I think the year of the virus is really the birth of kayak fishing, where it really started to blow up. So we're only if we're going to choose that as a date, we're 5 years into the kayak revolution. I think it's going to keep growing. I think the plastic boat, the tiny boat stuff is going to keep growing in popularity. And it's just because you can't afford, an icon. Like let's just be real about it. And if you live in our area of the woods, why would you want an icon? It's really hard to get into Little Seneca or some of these places with a 22-foot fiberglass boat. It wouldn't be fun.
I mean, the river, and I've only fished a river a few times, and I get it. Like, I get it. It's for me, it's too much work for me. I totally get the allure of it. It's I like the small electric only bodies. They have fish too. It's just the times I've been out there in a bass boat, it's wonderful. It's awesome. But the whole tide thing, and if fishing's hard enough, then you throw all that junk on top. And you river rats are much better than I am. Cause I oh my God, it's chaos.
What is your dream boat? If you won the lottery and you got to pimp something out, what would it be?
I was actually looking. The crawdad, Coleman crawdad, is 11 feet. I've been fishing out of that since the 90s. I don't know anything else. I've, of course, been on other people's boats, but I'd be happy with a 17-foot aluminum boat.
That'd be perfect, yeah.
I was somewhere, it might have been Lake Murray. I saw a guy with an Express, and I was like, that thing is so wide. I'm more like, if you big deck, that would be amazing. A 17-foot boat. That's it. I mean, like I told you, I've pushed the boundaries of stupidity in my boat. I've done things in it, not Keith Poche cool, like just stupid. Like wind is 20 miles an hour, 25 miles an hour, and I'm out there. One day at Little Creek, I thought I was done. The wind just picked up out of nowhere, and I was crossing, and I said, "Oh, the waves were coming over. Oh yeah, I mean,
That's scary.
I mean, that's the downside, of course. The downside of a kayak or an 11-foot plastic boat. Plastic. It's not even metal. It's how dumb is that? But it fits in the back of my truck. But yeah, I've been swamped. I've had motorboats pass me and just completely fill my boat up with water. Oh yeah. But that's why I have a bucket. You need to bail out.
But there's something to that though, man, about having something that you can just throw in the back of your truck and go, and you don't need to have all the big truck and where are you going to put a 22-foot skier or what have you. And again, with where you're fishing, there's something to that.
And it's, I mean, I'm trying to think of a place where I felt size-wise felt uncomfortable. I mean, I've had my boat out on Lake Murray, and just like, because you can just pick a cove and fish the cove. I mean, kind of like Little Creek, you don't want to be in the middle like I was that day, but you can just pick a pocket and go fish it.
Lake Murray's fun. I do like that lake a lot.
Oh,
that's an ocean.
It is humongous. And yeah, on a Saturday, there's a lot of boats out there. But
yeah.
But I mean, and the thing is, I haven't, and like I said before, the DWR website only lists so many, and I'm sure there's a million. So if anybody has anything to add, like a ponds, lakes, anything within, I mean, tomorrow I'm going back up the Sandy River to do this month's column. I mean, that's 2 hours away. That's a hike. But that place is magical, and there's a reason that it's what is it, number 2 on the list?
Number 2.
Yeah, I mean, you go there and you're like, oh yeah, like yeah, and you just start catching five, and you're like, holy man, what? So,
well, and that's what's so cool about what you're doing in the area that you live in is you can experience all that every day. You can be a kid in a candy store and experience something new if you want to. You could probably go a whole month and fish a brand new spot.
I would like to. I have to continue to get new places. And I think there's someone mentioned a Lake Drummond, but I looked at the map and it's like 3,500 acres. It's gigantic because that's reasonable distance. But it basically says, like, if you have a small boat, don't be a dummy. And please don't try it. Because it almost looks like Okeechobee on the map. It's just a circle.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, there's just endless places. And smallmouth, that's the other thing is like, there's got to be a place. Someone told me, was it Hunting's Run?
Hunting's Run, that's a good one.
Hunting's Run. There's like smallmouth places within a reasonable driving distance. I'd love to. I mean, I'm sure out west there's some, but locally, I don't know of any. Locally,
Lake Drummond is cool because again, sorry. So if people don't know that aren't local, I should say this: Lake Drummond is the Great Dismal Swamp. So probably should make sure for people that aren't from the area, and I believe that connects with a bunch of is it like an Okeechobee, like you said? Like it's basically like it has all the feeder creeks and stuff that feed into it.
When you look at it on the map, it just looks like a giant circle, and it
because it's part of the intercoastal waterway system, so it's connected. So you Google it, guys, if you care about a huge history lesson on that. But basically, that connects. You can go from like Boston to Florida without getting in the ocean. I don't know how the intercoastal waterway works. So, but yeah.
And there's another joint in Virginia Beach called Back Bay. That everybody keeps telling me to go to Back Bay.
Yeah, I will be going this July, I think, at some point, guys. Because it's pretty cool. You can literally stand on the front of your boat look over the burn and see the Atlantic Ocean while you're fishing a frog and catching bass.
Oh, wow.
Because there's that massive, the Virginia Beach, I don't know what you want to call it, like the barrier, the beach barrier. And so the North Bay is just this massive freshwater estuary.
Wow.
So that's
and it's
cool.
huge though, right? I mean, it
Massive.
looks huge.
Absolutely massive. And you just think about like all the different like water canals and stuff. And I can actually bring this up here. And this is why this is interesting. And it's just slept on. Again, guys, when we do the map study course on Patreon starting next week, so go check that out. We're going to go with terrain view here just so you can see it. So this is the North Bay, but look at all these interconnected water canals. These are all fresh water.
Oh, wow.
It's just thousands of miles of just muddy creek, just all this. It's wild. And depending on the time of year and the salinity level, all this stuff has bass in it, because this is North Bay, Ships Bay, and this is all part of the Back Bay National Refuge. And if you guys do know, because the Bassmasters were here, this all connects to Albemarle Sound, which is where the elites were this spring. So all of this, dude, is wild. It's all fishy, let's just say. So yeah, really cool stuff.
That's pretty cool. See, there you go. There's another one. And if you just pull up the map.
Yep.
This whole area is just loaded.
It's all water. It's just so cool. It is. It is so cool.
Like what's that little thing? Like, is that just a feeder creek? Like I'm just not familiar with Lake.
This. Yeah.
What is that? Oh, Lake Cahoon.
And Lake Mead. And this is like on the left boundary of Norfolk.
I fished those two, but both of them. They were Lake Mead was a lot better than Lake Cahoon.
But, yeah. I've heard some good things. Like there's some sneaky spots down there in Norfolk.
There, when you cross the river, take the ferry over there. It's a whole nother world over there of just lakes and ponds. It's endless.
Really?
But it's you got to draw the line at how much you want to spend to fish, because you need different. Like Beaver Dam is its own sticker. Portsmouth, Suffolk, Norfolk. Like there's a lot of stickers to buy. Newport News Park is another one. Weller Mills is another one. So it's you do end up spending a lot of money for stickers over the course of the year. But again, if anyone has any little lakes and ponds that you know of, put them in the comments, because I'd love to fish some, learn some new places. And the other thing is when my column, like if I'm blowing up, my first column I ever wrote, if I'm blowing up your spots, I'm apologizing, because I everyone's, of course, the locals have all their spots. And if I just happen to find one and write about it, I feel bad. But
yeah, but it's the same thing. Like you can't fish them all. So it's just the more stuff you talk about, I think that actually helps, honestly, because it'll spread out the pressure. If we only talked about one place, that one place would just get beat to hell.
Yeah, and hopefully if like I did it on my own, going to these places and figuring out the boat ramps, like at least what I try to do is each place tell you this place is a nightmare or it's beautiful to fish, like a parking lot wise, or there's easy access, how many boat ramps. So, but so far, the Virginia does an amazing job with their boat ramps.
Oh, dude, yeah, they do. They really are a cut above the best when it comes to just what they do. And again, guys, I know you're going to be in the comment section saying some things, and like, yes, there's room for improvement, but all in all, they're doing a remarkable job for the amount of water they have to deal with. Plus the Chesapeake Bay, which is its whole other animal that we could talk about too.
Oh, what's the Chesapeake? Is that just a whole nother world?
Yeah, because you have with Maryland and Virginia, the Chesapeake Bay, I believe, is the largest bay in the world. And so it's one of the biggest estuaries, if not the biggest estuary on the East Coast. And so a lot of funding gets pulled from Maryland and Virginia to take care of the Chesapeake Bay. So if you think about it that way, where if you have a certain amount of slush fund that you have allocated, and you have to allocate that to freshwater and saltwater, that's a heavy burden for them versus a state that doesn't have that same thing. That's just my opinion, honestly. And, they're fighting with the oysters, the blue cats, all that other stuff. So I think all in all, they're doing a good job. That's the one thing we got to get into too, is I really want to start talking more about saltwater too, because we used to only be bluefish and striper, and now you have shrimp in the bay. There are tarpon. There is a huge redfish and speckled trout fishery that's blowing up in the Chesapeake, which I never had as a kid, which is wild to me. So,
and you guys have croaker. I couldn't tell you what a croaker is, but I've heard when the dogwood blooms, the croakers are in.
Yep,
I hear that at work all the time. So
that is very old school.
Yeah, saltwater is a whole nother world. I can't afford anything else. I can't. This largemouth is just. Why do you have to buy every bait that comes out? Because
it's either we're going to spend that money on a woman or we're going to spend that on fishing tackle. It's one of the two.
It's just so much. It's so much. And one thing to think about. What is it about us fishermen? And it hit me the other day when I was at Sandy River. It was me and one other boat, and I have no idea about the place. So I'm like, I can go straight or I can go left. So I start going left, and the other boat was just like, oh, he knows what he's doing. Why do we think like that? Oh, he knows what he's doing. I'm going to follow him. And I looked at the guy like, I have no idea what I'm doing. And he just came, and they started fishing the other side. I'm like, that's always been a thing with us. We just think that the other guy knows what they're doing.
It's like the bent pole complex, which I would, if you want to do a fun scientific experiment, it would be go to the Potomac River on a grass flat and purposely get 2 or 3 of your friends just to bring their boats over. Don't fish, just talk. And I bet within 2 hours, there'll be about 50 boats because they just see 3 boats converge. Yeah. And it just goes into what you said, that herd mentality. Yeah, that is fascinating to me.
Yeah.
And yeah,
it's always been that way. You go to any lake and you see another boat, you just, some reason you go, well, they know what they're doing. So
I wonder if that's a primitive part of our brains, because if you were a fishing culture, like fish school. So if you find a place where they're at, of course, you're all going to like herd there like lemmings to hopefully catch them. I mean, other animals do that too. So not too far off, I guess. We're going full Joe Rogan here. But yeah, that's interesting. Brian, I really appreciate you coming on for the first time, breaking your chair with me tonight. I really appreciate it. Yeah, if people want to find your next article or follow you, what do they have to do?
Woods and Waters. I don't have any social media. I don't do anything. Just Woods and Waters is old school. Just a print magazine, column in the magazine. You have to go and get it. Actually, I think it's on their website too, but I know it's in the magazine. And
when's the next one drop?
Usually today. I think it came out today on Lake Nottoway.
Ooh, Lake Nottoway.
It was a cool place I found somewhere. I couldn't even tell you where it was. It's Lake Nottoway. I think it's the only one. But it was a cool little place. I did pretty well at. So, and that's the cool thing. You just go into it's like stranger danger. You just go into a completely foreign. You're like, oh, I ended up in some dude's backyard following the GPS. And I'm like, well, no, this isn't the lake. Turned around, went back out. Like, oh, all right. I guess that was wrong.
Oh my goodness, guys, go read his article. Go buy Woods and Water magazine. Go support
it's free.
Them.
You don't have to buy it.
It's free. Well, oh yeah, go tip him. I don't know. Go see him at Busch Gardens. That's dude from bogs to everything. What do you do at Busch Gardens? Like, what you work on the roller coaster? You can't work on a roller. Wait, are there wooden roller coasters? What do you do?
We basically fix anything wood in the park. But we're also in charge of the wooden roller coaster Invader. So we have to repair that every day, basically. And
really?
Oh, yeah. Just upkeep. You know, it's wood. So we just...
It's wood.
It's wood.
And the carpenter just pessimistically rolls his shoulders. It's wood. What are you going to do?
Wood. We walk it every day. I have to walk the ride every day and inspect it. And you know, the glockenspiel. It's Busch Garden stuff. That's what we do. Anything wood, we fix and replace, and it's 5 minutes from the house, and it's got a private bass lake. I mean,
that's so cool.
Yeah, it's great.
Do you have to work off hours when the park's not running, or do you work when the park's running and people are in there?
We both. I mean, I work 5 to 1:30, 5 in the morning to 1:30, and then I usually go fishing after work. Of course,
so freaking cool.
Yeah,
Ugh.
but yeah, if there's something breaks in the park when it's open, you go and fix it. But it's a great place. More people should go.
Yep. Go check him out at Busch Gardens, guys. Help pay his salary. Go check out his article, and we're definitely going to be having Brian on here soon. Guys, we got one Patreon spot left before I close that thing down, and I'm going to change.
Go get it.
Yes, go get it. You'll all be grandfathered in.
I got the last one.
Yes, he did. He did.
There's one more.
Go check that out, please, because it really helps me literally pay my mortgage right now while I look for a job, because I'm trying my best on that front. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time on Fishing the DMV. Bye. You're listening to Fishing the DMV with your host, Thomas Ahrens. Fishing the DMV is brought to you by Jake's Bait and Tackle, located in Winchester, Virginia.
If that doesn't get you jacked up, I don't know what will.